Hi guys and welcome back to Movies That Matter with the Viking, and some interesting news broke yesterday of a Gotham TV series coming to HBO Max. And you're probably thinking to yourself, wait, we've already seen one of these shows. And of course, yes, the Gotham show, which ended last year, the year before, had a very lengthy run, 6 seasons, and it did well for itself. And actually, I enjoyed the show. I actually haven't finished it, but the seasons that I did see and the episode I did see, I enjoyed it, and it is what it is. It was nothing that was supposed to be taken too serious, but what it did was it introduced so many characters within Gotham. It told Bruce Wayne from a very young age his story. I thought Ben McKenzie was actually brilliant as Gordon, Commissioner Gordon, in the show. But this is going to be very, very different. This is actually going to be a spin-off from the Batman 2021 film starring Matt Reeves. And I find that very, very interesting because for me, I said the multiverse exists within the DCU, and I thought that Robert Pattinson's world of Batman would be on the big screen, and that would leave room for shows like, or films like Zack Snyder's Justice League to be solely on HBO Max, and then you could have other shows and spin-offs and movies on HBO Max. But it looks like they're not just leaving those stuff for theaters and those stuff for HBO Max. They're going to intertwine things as much as they can, and if they have a good film on the big screen like Aquaman, then what's this going to stop them from doing a Trench series on HBO Max? So the possibilities are absolutely endless, and I think this is actually brilliant. Now, the other day, if you can remember, Matt Reeves' television company signed with Warner Brothers. He was originally with Fox Studios, but now with Disney taking over Fox, there's a very limited number of projects you can do with Disney. You can't do any R-rated, you can't do stuff like that. So the right idea is to move to Warner Brothers with a television deal, because then he has more freedom and he can do what he does best, and that's make great complex characters and stories with a little edge to them. So this is going to be a Gotham TV series that's set in the world of Robert Pattinson's Batman, and we don't know who's going to star in the show yet, but it's going to be linked to the movie, we know that. Are we going to see Commissioner Gordon show up in the actual show? I think for it to work, you probably will need him. He doesn't have to be the series lead. Jeffrey Wright, of course, is playing Commissioner Gordon in The Batman, and you might know him from Westworld. Also, that's produced by HBO. So he's a very, very, very good top TV actor, and I think it's kind of perfect if he was to star in this. He doesn't necessarily have to be in every episode. You can interlink other characters, unknown characters, new characters into the show and build them up using Commissioner Gordon, using Batman. I said that's the best way to introduce new characters into audiences' eyes, for audiences to see these characters that they don't know about. I've said before that Suicide Squad did that for Harley Quinn. I said that Birds of Prey did that for Black Canary. And I think this show could absolutely do that for maybe Batgirl, which is Barbara Gordon. If he wants to introduce Barbara Gordon into the Batman world that he's trying to create, then that would be a great way to introduce the character and get audiences familiar. So then when you do transition her to the big screen, some people already know who she is and her character is already built up. But this is a surprise, because a lot of these scoopers who say they know what's going on within the studio world and they know what's coming and what's to be announced and what's happening at DC fandom, not many of them predicted this Gotham TV series to be announced. And I'm actually surprised that it's been announced now and wasn't kept for DC fandom, because DC fandom is supposed to be this big event for the fans at Comic-Con of sorts at home, and it's free. And I thought a lot of news would be dropping on that weekend, a 24-hour virtual Comic-Con, but it dropped yesterday through the big trades, and it is actually happening. Now, is it going to come out in 2021? Probably not. 2022 is probably going to be the aim to get this show out after the Batman film. Now, of course, with the virus, there's not much shooting going on now anyway, so even if they got shooting by the end of the year, I don't think it would hit 2021. But am I excited? Of course I am, and this shows how much confidence Warner Brothers has in the Matt Reeves world that he's doing for Batman. If they didn't have confidence in what he was doing, you think they would greenlit this show to intertwine with the film? Probably not. So they have confidence in what Matt Reeves is doing. They have confidence in Robert Pattinson as Batman. And Matt Reeves is probably here to stay. He has a long contract with Warner Brothers. He has a very unique idea, a trilogy of sorts with the Batman series. And maybe it's not just Batman he is looking at. He's looking at these TV series like Gotham, and maybe he will do spin-off movies, or his world will allow spin-off movies like Batgirl or like Catwoman. Maybe we have to see in 2021 what his idea of this world of Gotham City actually is. But it gets me excited, and it shows that Warner Brothers are fully behind them. But also Warner Brothers is the ones who are behind the film. But this is HBO Max. This is AT&T who are greenlighting this TV show for HBO Max. And now I think Jeffrey Wright should appear in the show. It doesn't have to be every episode, as I said, just build up another character as well. And Batman, will Robert Pattinson appear in the show? I think he would. I don't think he'll be in numerous episodes. I think you'll probably see him in the pilot or the season finale. Maybe things like that, and that would be pretty cool. Maybe it doesn't even have to be Robert Pattinson. Maybe it just has to be a guy in the Batman suit, and you get to see him from afar, which is okay. It's pretty cool. But I'm all happy for this idea, and it shows that anything is possible with HBO Max now involved. We could get any show possible. Look, the Snyderverse is kind of at the moment, it's just Zack Snyder's Justice League that's coming out in 2021. Will there be more? Will there be spin-offs with the characters? We don't know. All we know is that Aquaman 2 is coming, Wonder Woman 2, the Flash solo film is coming also. So they're kind of spin-offs of Zack's world, but also their own thing. And what Zack is doing on HBO Max is his own thing. So what I think it is, it's very much like a comic world. You've got a comics, you can go and you can pick up a comic, 3 or 4 different versions of Batman, of Superman, even of Marvel comics, different characters, different ideas, different artists who make these characters and have their own stories. They don't have to connect, they don't have to intertwine, they don't have to have the same people involved. And I think that's the route that DC, that Warner Brothers, the AT&T are going with the DC properties. I think they're letting, look, you have a good idea for Batman? Go ahead. You have a good idea for Batman? Go ahead, make your story. Very much like Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips. Todd Phillips had a great idea for a Joker film, and they let him go and do that. They weren't worrying about Jared Leto's Joker. They weren't worrying about anything like that. I think it's very, very interesting. And James Gunn is taking on the Suicide Squad in 2021, 2022. That's supposed to come out. And that's his version of these characters, and David Ayer had his version of those characters as well. And hopefully the Ayer cut gets released so we get to see his true version. But nevertheless, I'm excited. I'm happy. I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking we've already seen a Gotham TV series before in the past. Yes, we have, but this is going to be very much different. It's going to be a higher budget. We know AT&T is fully behind the DC brand, and they're putting so much money into these shows. It's going to appear on HBO Max, like Justice League Dark, like Green Lantern Corps, and of course Zack Snyder's Justice League. So don't worry about this. It has the guy who created Broadwalk Empires as well. He's going to be the showrunner of the show. He's going to be behind it, working with Matt Reeves. So look, this is going to be very much a HBO Max, Game of Thrones, True Detective, whatever other shows that they have, that kind of quality, Chernobyl, that kind of quality is going to be put into this show. It's going to be taken very seriously. It's going to have very interesting characters, and there will be risks for what's happening. Because in the Gotham TV series, risks didn't really matter. People would do whatever they wanted without even thinking of consequences. This will be different. It will take a lot more seriousness in the role and risks. Now, there is a Gotham City Central comic book that ran from 2002 to 2006, which had about 40 issues, and it didn't do that well. Not many people were reading it because it didn't have as many high-profile characters in it in terms of villains, and the lack of Batman probably was the reason it had a demise. But I think it can learn from those mistakes. It can take ideas from what Matt Reeves does in his film. It can take ideas from the Gotham TV series that we already had, in terms of what's the right blend of having villains, of having characters, of having likable characters, and what way are they actually going to do this? Is it just going to be about crime and Gotham, got to do with just everyday criminals, or is it got to do with actually high profile criminals? Not that they probably won't use the Joker, but characters like the Joker who are famous. They're going to need some to gain attention and attraction. That's why I think when they end up marketing this show, you will see Jeffrey Wright's Commissioner Gordon there. You will see talk of the Batman or images of the Batman. So I think they will need some high profile characters, not necessarily to lead the show, but to definitely prompt up the new characters that they're going to introduce in this show. Like I've said, before. They could take elements from Batman Year One and just completely ignore the Batman element and just take that and use that with Jeffrey Wright's Commissioner Gordon, or another detective who is working with Commissioner Gordon, who is in contact with Batman or sees Batman, and also could implement elements of Batgirl. But for me, this is exciting. I can't wait. It's interesting. It shows that they have absolute 100% confidence in what Matt Reeves is doing with the Batman universe. I'm all for it. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Give a like, comment, subscribe, come follow me on all the socials, and talk about the one thing that we love, which is movies and TV shows, especially when it's got to do with the Dark Knight. But anyway, guys, see you next time, and always remember, the multiverse is alive.